That can be an intro. I actually need to get my helmet. It can be an We're going to take June out very, very briefly because of the wildfires, and it's super smoky and the air quality is crummy here. And I'm gonna just take her out for a few minutes and work on what I want to like fix. Well, I don't really feel like I need to fix anything from the last rodeo, but work on how I want to envision my runs for the rodeo this weekend, which is tomorrow. And perfect. Thanks.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, and just get tuned up for that.
Are you a first D-ring person or a second on your girth?
A first.
Yep.
And yeah, so at the last rodeo, we were at the Painted Pony in New York, and that was a really good week. Last weekend was a really good weekend. The weekend before, so 3 weekends ago, I knocked both days. And yeah, it was not a great weekend. We knocked both days and clocked just out of the money. So
even if you didn't knock.
Yeah, I didn't push her home.
Fair.
But still. So then last weekend, the week after that rodeo, I worked on really, really freeing her up around my second. And we had added, I don't know if you remember, but we added the tie down, and I switched over to the hackamore. And I found that that's made a big difference with my first barrel. Mm-hmm. So I felt like my first barrel's improved. And we're gonna, but I definitely needed her to keep nice, big, open strides around her second barrel. Mm-hmm. I think the first barrel for us is always a bit of a work in progress. So no matter what, I just need to be very, very aware of how I'm riding around on my first barrel. Mm-hmm. Even if I'm not trying to fix anything, I still need to keep her super honest with what's happening around first barrel. Mm-hmm. So now this weekend, I don't necessarily feel like I need to change all that much. But I want to keep her finishing her first barrel really, really strong. And I want to keep nice big steps around all of my barrels. We're only going to be doing like a short walk, maybe a bit of trot today because of the air quality. But you'll see what I'm doing once we get out there. One of the other things that I wanted to make mention of, life's rough, isn't it? Is that when my first run, last weekend, I was one spot out of the money. It was a nice run. She still got 2 rady going into second barrel. At that arena, the second barrel, you're running straight into bucking chutes and the announcer with the big speaker. So, you can't really blame the horses for wanting to set up early running into that.
Avoid it.
Yeah. Or just be like, what am I running into? And it's like right off the wall. So you're literally running into bucking chutes, and you're turning like this far away from a bucking chute. There's not much room. And it's a super narrow pen. So you need to make sure that you finish first strong, get above the line at first so that you're making a clear path into second. So she got pretty steady at second. And if I'm being honest with myself, I didn't send her the way I should have. Mm-hmm. I kind of 3/4'd it the way to first. And here's the thing that, with traveling partners, is you can have traveling partners that ruin things for you and are miserable and make life not fun on the road, or you can have traveling partners that are your cheerleader. And I was very lucky. My traveling partners were very much so cheerleaders for me last weekend. And I came out of the pen, and Kyla was like, "You rode like a wuss." And
you can have them that are cheerleaders. And Kyla was like, "You rode like a wuss."
No, but that's my cheerleader.
Because you need the reality.
Yes, she's being honest. She's giving me her real feedback, and I'm not coming out and she's not going, oh my gosh, beautiful run, you did so well. Like, she knows I want to go out and win. So she gave me what I need to go out and win. So then I was like, okay, you're right.
Your cheerleader looks different every time.
Exactly. I rode like your wuss. Okay. So what do I need to do to not ride like a wuss next time? So we sat down, we broke the video down. She was like, see here, you went in 3/4 to your first, and then you didn't have enough momentum going into your second, which is why she set up a little too early. And then she was like, and then you got to third and you actually rode. I was like, all right. Okay. So I went into my next run, not licking my wounds, being petty because she gave me criticism, right? I went into my run thinking, okay, this is how I need to better my runs. This is how I need to better myself. And she also made a great point. She was like, we just drove 8 hours for you to go 3/4. She's like, no. We drove 8 hours and you paid your entry fees for you to give it your all. I was like, yep.
Paid them in American as well.
So I went out and I rode my horse like I know how to ride my horse. I was 6/10 faster and I was third.
Do you think there was some, I guess, mindset there? Like, was your mind not totally there? Were you worried about the bucking chutes? Like,
I wasn't worried about the bucking chutes.
What was your mindset going into that, which maybe caused you to only ride 3/4?
The reason I only rode 3/4 was because I was apprehensive about my first. My first barrel is something that is always like, it's like I have my like little, devil on my shoulder that's like, your first barrel sucks. You say that's not right. And I know that my horse is very literal, so I can go out and make adjustments. And yes, I'm very literal. I can go out and make adjustments, and she'll show that I was fixing things like the next run. If I work on stuff on Friday, I can go out Saturday and she's going to retain what we worked on and she's going to fix whatever the problem was. But it still gets in my head a lot because I guess first barrel is one of the things that I'm constantly having to fix. And a lot of it is my body position around it. I'll run into a first barrel and I don't actually like open my shoulder and go to come around and turn the barrel. I just run. All gas. And then we shoot by it. So part of it's her, part of it's me, part of it's, us together.
Teamwork.
And we're both just wanting to run by accident. But yeah, so definitely my clocking slow the first night was 1000% a mental thing. And I went back to the trailer. I had to give my head a bit of a shake. Kyla and I had a bit of a chat about me only going 3/4 and only giving 3/4 effort and riding like a wuss.
And when you sat down to pull apart the video to like show where you could be better, were you, I guess, taking the good parts of your first run and then visualizing what could have been better for your second, or did you just totally visualize a whole new run?
No, I took the bad and the good. So I definitely looked at it and told myself all the great things that we did. And then I watched it and I figured, and I've been trying really hard to not get emotional over the bad things. So I used to, watch a video and be like, oh my gosh, we suck. This is horrible. This, and this, like there's so many bads and, very few goods. And now it's just information to me.
Yeah.
So I have to take all my emotions and put them aside. And I need to watch this video from an informational standpoint. And I'm gathering information so I can better my next run.
Yeah.
Whether that's positive information or negative information, it doesn't really matter. The goal is improvement. So, and one of the things that I always try and remind myself is, it's a really good place to be in, being 5/10 off or whatever. Like my first run, I was 8/10 off the winner, being 8/10 off and finding all the improvements, right? Because what sucks more is being 8/10 off and there being nowhere to improve.
Yeah. Because they have nowhere to go, then you're stuck.
Exactly. Then you've maxed yourself out or you've maxed your horse out. So I try and remind myself of that when I'm breaking it down. I'm like, oh, we did this wrong and we did that wrong. And it's like, okay, we did this wrong, and that cost us
Time.
3/10.
And now we know we can go faster if we improve it.
Exactly.
Okay, time to get out there?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, so you know that I've been working out lately, and yesterday I don't know, I freaking hate working out. I think it's the stupidest thing in the whole world. But yesterday I was riding around and I had a moment of being like, I feel strong and center in the saddle, and that's probably one of the first times I've, like, it's not that I don't feel strong in the saddle, but it's one of the first times that I've gotten on and being like, wow, I feel like I'm sitting right in the middle. I am even weight in both feet, and I didn't feel like I was putting more pressure in one foot than the other. It was awesome. So the fun of working out is finally paying off.
There's your PSA to work out.
Okay, so we're not doing much and just making sure that her footwork is good. So I'm kind of testing her out here. I'm just giving her all the rein in the world and seeing if she puts her feet in the right spots, which she is. There, I overfinished that first because we've been running in narrow pens and she needs to overfinish her first to make sure that we get a nice straight line into second, putting us in the right spot. So there she shouldered, well, she didn't shoulder, but she got flat coming in. So I'm just going to make her circle that one more time. And I gave her a bit of a kick. I put some effort in here, Missy. There we go. There. So I'm good. There. And then finish second a little bit. I have a tendency to leave a barrel too early. A lot of people have a tendency to leave a barrel too early. I think that that's a huge mistake, especially in people that are new to barrel racing. So one thing that I like to make sure I do in my slow work is just overfinish everything like that. So yeah, so her, just giving her all the range she can have and letting her choose where to put her feet was really, really good. She did a good job, other than getting a little bit flat going into second. So we'll walk that one more time. We were doing some stuff with tires where I had to like jump in the middle of the tire, and they're big transport truck tires.
Are you one-footing it, or are you like bunny hopping?
Like jumping in the middle. Good. See, this was a lot better. She didn't flatten out quite as much. In the tire?
Yeah, are you like the one hop or like the 2 feet?
No, like, so it's like 2 feet in the middle, and then you jump to 2 feet on the tire.
Oh.
And then you jump down in, and then, so I was doing that, but you had to like squat, jump up, like explosion, jump up onto the sides of this transport tire. So it's high.
Sounds painful.
And then I was doing like I don't know, like a skip tap with my feet on the tire. And I was like almost falling over and like so uncoordinated. And my personal trainer was making fun of me and how uncoordinated I am, and then started talking about how uncoordinated his brother is and how his brother can barely throw a ball, and it made me feel like he was really judging my coordination. So anyways, nothing comes natural to me when it comes to physical things. I am that weird, awkward person that, like, you know, dances like a 2x4. So I always like to remind my students of that when, you know, like, you guys have seen me dance. It's painful to watch. I don't come, like, athletic things don't come natural to me. Body control does not come natural to me. I have gotten where I have out of pure
determination
and like force of the will.
Honestly, when I like
you
when
were
I
the same, actually. No offense.
I am.
Yeah.
Ouch!
But you've pushed through and you're still doing it and you're doing a good job.
First started riding when I was in grade 6 or 7. So what was that, like 11, 12, 13-ish?
Yeah. I had in my head that you were like 10-ish, but so 11 would make sense.
Yeah, like I was young when I started riding, and it was English, and it was a boarding, like a lesson facility, and it was hell on earth, to put it lightly.
Right.
But I was very stiff.
Yes, that's a good description of how you were as a kid. Like stiff to the point where you're like just like rigid and bouncy. I'm sure I was the same. I'm pretty sure I was that kid that didn't start loping for like 3 years because they were like, this chick's gonna fall off.
Well, I have horrible balance. Like, I can't ride bareback without like wanting to cry. Like, I've never been on Jack bareback in my life because he's a lot more excited than Max is. But I've done a lot more barebacking on Max because I can trust that he'll like stop and not kill me.
Right. Max feels you go sideways and he's like, back over here, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. Plus his mane is so thick, you got something to grab onto. Jack's bald. Keeping my hips centered, that's what I struggle with. And even weight in my stirrups.
So do I. So I work on it so much. Like, even in my workouts, I think, so I keep less weight in my left stirrup. So even in my workouts, I spend more time trying to strengthen my left leg. And like doing things that are going to help. Now you're getting all hot. Doing things that are going to help keep me in the middle.
Like, my left hip is locked in place. So then I think my right leg is a tad bit longer because of that. And so I get very like one-sided. I think I'm getting better.
I ride with uneven stirrups.
Yeah, I ride without my stirrups sometimes just to see if I can.
I ride with uneven stirrups. My left stirrup is 1 hole shorter than my right.
Uneven.
Yeah, but I think like it's like they're the half holes, and I also think part of it is because my left stirrup's stretched from mounting.
I thought my stirrups were uneven once, and you wouldn't let me change them, and then you ended up being right, which annoyed me a little bit, but...
So okay. Here I'm really thinking about what we had talked about in the barn, about me opening my shoulder up to the barrel there, and she turned better. Interesting.
And you look up. Do you ever watch your videos and look at your eye placement and like your head placement?
Yeah.
Or are you more focusing on your body?
I'm 50, like I'm focusing on all of it. So I think our head and our eyes are part of our body. So
yeah,
I'm focusing on like, like what's my head doing? What are my shoulders doing? What are my legs doing? What are my hips doing?
What's your pinky toe doing? Well, no, because I remember when you were looking at my videos, you were like, well, you're looking down. And I was like, you're probably right.
Yeah, if you're running into a barrel looking down, there's a good chance you're going to hit it.
Yeah.
One of the things that you were talking about, what was I going to say? Oh, not setting center in the saddle. So I'm opening my shoulder up here.
Open. Look up.
There, nice. That was really nice. And then I'm going to think about opening my shoulder up to get her rib cage here.
Look up.
There, I like that too. So sometimes that's a good reflection on, yep, that's probably me.
I find when I'm not looking up, I'm looking down. And then I tend to do like the whole like swoopy thing. And then I find when I'm in the warm-up, My biggest thing is to find like the banner that I want to hit. Or like if I'm in the holding pen, I'll find someone that's like in the perfect spot for that barrel and I'll stare at them. Like this random stranger, and I'm going into my second just staring at them.
Intense eye contact.
They probably think I'm crazy. They're like, why is this girl running her horse and staring at me?
I find that sometimes in your runs you get too active.
I do.
So
I need to calm down.
Especially leaving, I think it's second. Leaving second, your horse wants to like overfin it.
Yes.
Because you're not getting your hand up smoothly enough.
Fast enough, and it's too high when I get it up.
Yes. And then you're like taking, here, 1 second.
She's going to show me my bad habits. Except I do left foot.
So you get tight and tense and hand up, like you lock your shoulder because you're worried you're going to hit it.
Yeah.
Instead of opening everything up so that your horse, and then you get here, and then your horse wants to come here, and then you get active with your body and you pull your horse around. Like that's obviously exaggerated.
No, that's not. There's a lot of videos where Max goes to almost like take that step to like finish the barrel. And then I'm like super womaning out of it.
Yeah, because so I had that problem too, where I would come around to second barrel and I would be worried that my horse was going to hit it. So you get up and over with your hand.
Yeah.
And then look what I'm doing. I'm dropping my shoulder. So I'm dropping my inside hip. So I'm actually asking my horse to come closer to that barrel and drop their shoulder. So what you need to do is you need to actually keep your shoulder lower and open it up and get your hand coming this way, and see how much more open her rib cage is when I'm riding like this, so that you can just run your hand forward for them to straighten out.
My biggest key factor when I'm riding, if I'm doing it right, it's pulling my muscles that are super sore.
Okay.
So if I'm not doing it right and my muscles don't hurt or I can't feel my muscles, then I know I'm doing it wrong.
Okay.
Whereas if I'm doing it right, I'm like, okay, that muscle's working. I know it's there. It's been injured in the past and I can feel it. A lot of my riding, I find, has like been half-assed isn't the word, but like made up to overcompensate for the injuries that I've had. And like even in breakaway, I can't get my elbow straight up in the 90 degree and then tilt my elbow down because it hurts my shoulder. So I find I overcompensating by leaning forward and roping forward. And now Jack and I are like really forward, which is not great.
Right, and that would explain, because sometimes he gets like jolty and front endy when he stops.
Oh yeah, he's actually gotten way better since I put like skid boots on him.
Oh, you think
I put skid boots on that horse and he gave me 11s. It was every breakaway roper's dream. I've never seen that horse stop so well.
Oh.
After 2 years, almost 3, of trying and trying and trying.
So do you think he was rubbing his fetlocks and not wanting to get into the dirt?
I assume that he was nervous to do it.
Right.
Because he's only ever done it once in his life before that, when he didn't have boots on, and then he just didn't want to stop the rest of the day. Because he doesn't need a heavy bit. It's just he never wants to stop when we're going fast. Like if I'm at a walk or even a trot and I say whoa and like sit properly, he'll stop. But if we're at a lope and I'm asking him to stop, he's very front endy or choppy or like just slows down. And I think that's because he's scared of his fetlocks.
Yeah, that could also just be sometimes they just get pushy. The faster they go, the pushier they get.
He's definitely pushy, especially with a calf in front of him.
Right.
Where Max is very much like do-de-do-de-do.
Yeah.
But he can get excited as well.
One of the other things that I wanted to mention to you about some of the things that are happening in your pattern that I've been...
We should just insert my wrongdoings here.
No. I'm trying to
it's good
you.
learning.
I'm trying to be nice. Okay, so yeah, get that inside shoulder so that it's not like locked and pushed up. But then when you go to leave a barrel, being able to push your hand forward and see how quickly my horse straightens up.
Mm-hmm.
So that be like it can even be an off the pattern exercise. So you turn. Oh, come on, wake up. Okay, so we're gonna turn and then straighten out.
Yeah.
and then sit back, turn, straighten out. And having the expectation of your horse straightening out as soon as your hands go forward. My horse is flipping dogging it. There we go.
And when the horse is more straight out and they're not flat, because I know we use flat in a bad term, but like when they're able to like put their head at a level pace and get down, are they able to use their body better compared to like when I'm lifting up my reins, I'm picking his head up, I'm bringing everything up in not a great way?
No, you're engaging. The problem is that you're engaging your curb strap when you're doing that too much.
Oh, I see.
Like when you get your hands up here, you're engaging your curb strap.
I see.
And
even if the curb strap is just one of the gentle ones, it's still pressure.
Yeah. Like, so turn straight. Turn straight. And
so just keeping my hands low and not looking down and not being so active when I ride.
Honestly, if you were to think about there being $100 bill under your butt,
I'd probably still lose it. Can I tuck it in my bra instead?
No. You'd probably do. Like, just because you get like
up, lifty,
you're everywhere.
But I think I'm everywhere because I'm scared of knocking. Like that really good run that I had, I didn't feel so everywhere besides coming off that second. I think it was the second.
You rode much better in that run.
But I was so much more quiet, and I think the problem with me is it's not that I want to have everybody's style, but I do want to learn and like observe other people to see what works for them and what doesn't. And so I see so many riders being very active, and so I still don't think that I have like a solid riding style, because I think I'm still trying to figure out what works, even though in the back of my mind I know what works. And I think I'm always trying to get that extra second without like fixing and working on the actual physical stuff that would improve him and I. And I'm just trying to like find ways to push him faster or get him going.
You mean physical stuff like fitness, or you mean physical stuff like fixing the problem?
Like fixing the problem and him and I working together. And I mean, working on my fitness would probably help too.
Yeah, so I think that you're skipping the hard work and hoping that it's just going to come together by being more active with your body.
And it's doing the opposite.
Oh, it totally does the opposite. Like, okay, here. So have you ever piggybacked a kid? You've piggybacked my kids, you know what it's like to piggyback a kid. Okay, so when you're piggybacking a kid and they're like, how hard is it to carry them?
Pretty hard,
right?
It's pulling your weight everywhere.
Yes, and so it's pulling you off balance. So now imagine running as fast as you could, piggybacking a kid that's doing that to you. Okay?
And about 100 times harder.
Imagine running as fast as you could, piggybacking a kid that is putting the effort into holding on for themselves, keeping their entire body weight neutral, and just going with you.
Mm-hmm.
And how much easier that would be. Do you think if you were running a straight line, you'd be able to run faster with the kid that's all over the place, or the kid that's just holding on and actually supporting themselves with their legs around your hips?
The second option.
Okay, so then how can we expect our horses to go out and be competitive and do all the right things when we're like, right? Like that, just sit in the damn center.
You always told me that the butt crack seam on my jeans was never center, and so now I'm always like, okay, jeans are center, look back, okay, saddle center.
Right? So I've coached so many lessons where I get someone that's like, what do you mean? Yeah, I am sitting in the middle. And I'm like, no, I know you're not sitting in the middle because your saddle has lace that's telling on you that's not lining up with your horse's tail, and your jean has a seam that's telling on you that's not in the middle of your saddle. And I used to have a student that had a sticker on her helmet, and she'd be like, my head's straight, and I'm like, your sticker is sideways, so your head's not straight.
Was that Saf?
Yeah.
That seems like a very hard response. Well, my head's straight.
And so there's like when your coach is like, you're leaning, or you're putting more weight in your one foot, or your head's tilted, or your left shoulder's higher than your right shoulder, they're not saying it because they want to listen to themselves talk.
I'm just waiting for Jen to do the dances. I'll ask as many questions as possible until Jen can do her barrel racing dance.
I'm not doing any dances for you.